just cut it there.
He might just fucking wipe this database.
Betsy Ross. Your jeans in a crop. The podcast.
No, she's gonna gaslight on here. Oh my god, no, let her gaslight on camera. Let her.
Here for 12 hours.
Probably has Ebola all the time.
Oh!
We're gonna CTE how good
Is
you
Rob
are.
the God natty or not? Okay? Is he on?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a very exciting episode and a week. It's been an exciting week here at the studio. Obviously, by what you have just seen, you now know the piece of news that I've been holding on to for the better part of a year. I think it's over a year now. Excuse me. Yeah. For the past year, I have worked really hard to keep growing the network, and that's why this episode and this week is, honestly, it's special for all of us here. We've added 5 new shows to the roster, and all those shows are available in the TMG Studios app right now, ad-free. And we're gonna keep adding more. We got some exciting stuff on the way. But yeah, this is a special moment for all of us at the studio. Normally moments like this, I just kind of move on to the next thing, but I'm forcing myself to stop and talk about it because it's been a lot of hard work by everyone here at the studio. I know some of you this might be a good time to mention, some of you would like to listen to the show ad-free. You'd like to see this show fly high ad-free, and you can actually listen to this show ad-free on the TMG Studios app. You'd be supporting me and the lovely 20 employees that we have at the studio. You can always listen to this ad-free in the app. And honestly, I've been kicking around the idea of going weekly with the company lot. So, if there's interest there, maybe we do that. And I have ideas on how I would do that as well. But yeah, you can get this show ad-free at TMG Studios, or you can get all the shows ad-free at TMG Studios. We've been working very hard as a team to kind of get ready for this next phase, and we have a lot planned, because I know some of you over the years you've asked me, hey, what's up with your sort of like higher concept production ideas? Have you given up on those? No. Okay. I spent $60,000 to build a desk that's a car. Now it's a race car. But now I'm going to take some of that energy and put it into the studio. So we're going to be working on a bunch of different projects with the shows that are now in the network, and for myself and so on. So we got a lot planned. We're very excited as a group. It is an exciting chapter, and yeah, we're very stoked to kind of be creative again. Taking risks, because me, guys, I have no problem taking a creative risk. I'll put myself in odd creative situations because I like the challenge. I want to give a big shout out to everyone working at TMG Studios. They have really hustled for the last year. I don't want to undermine that. I want everyone to understand that, listens to the show, watches the show on YouTube, and just watches my channel in general. Everyone in the studio has worked so hard, just across the board. I've thrown a lot of different ideas at them, figuring out what we're going to do next, and they've executed on all of it. 10 out of 10, everything I've always wanted to see. And they are like a big reason why we're going to continue to be able to grow the network, which is something I'm just really stoked about. I'm also very, very appreciative of everyone that's continued to support the studio. Because of you, we're going to be able to do exciting things. So overall, I just feel just really inspired because everything going on in the studio feels like we're all kind of working with each other, and it's like a lot of exciting partnerships. And so, yeah, can't go another minute without saying big thank you to everyone working in the studio, and big thank you to everyone supporting the studio. Now that I'm piloting this thing, I'm ready to go crazy. I'm ready to go ham, go hard. I'm ready to apply all the special aspects of my neurodivergence into a lot of projects coming up. So very stoked about that. But yeah, exciting week. Please sign up at teamstudios.tv. Check out everything we got going on, and definitely stay tuned. You know, at the very least, you can get this show without the pesky ads. I'm sure they don't want me describing it in that way. Don't let my naturally barred out vocal tone, you know, I'm also not feeling very well right now. I'm actually deathly sick, but that's besides the point. Don't let this vocal tone confuse you. I'm very stoked about everything we're going to be doing at the studio, everything we're going to be doing with all the new shows on network, and some just personal ideas that I've been sitting on for a while. So go sign up, teamstudios.tv, you know, and stay tuned for more as the months click by. But yeah, let's get into today's episode. It's another lovely episode of The Company Lot. Fridays are for podcasts. If you're watching on YouTube, Fridays are for podcasts. And all that means is I just talk about more for a longer period of time. So no pausing videos, just you and me yapping it out for a steaming hot 45 minutes. Okay? More attention than your dad gave you. More attention than your uncle was allowed to give you legally before he got arrested. All right? Before we get into the isms, I mean, we got so much that I'm very excited to talk about today. We're going to talk about this stupid CEO. We got a number of dumb CEOs on the docket. Matter of fact, this might be a segment, okay? You know, dummy CEOs of the week. Because as these guys want to become cool, they're doing more, you know, kind of goofy things. And you may notice I am sick. I do have razor COVID. That's the one you get when you're really fucking sexy and attractive, and you got a huge ass. That's why I got razor COVID, because I'm on the razor's edge of actually being attractive. When you get razor COVID, your lips swell up, your cheekbones get harder. You get temporary buccal fat removal. That's how I look. If you're listening on audio, I look like Tom Brady temporarily. Some fun little FTC things. We got a ruling for the longtime listeners. We got a ruling on the Google case of the fucking, you know, the monopoly case on search. Really exciting stuff there for the longtime listeners because you know how we think and feel about that. Oh boy. You know, I need to get personal for the first 10 minutes. Normally I'm personal at the end, but I'm going to be personal for the first 10 minutes. Sick as a dog this weekend. You know what I mean? I don't even know where that phrase comes from. You know, let's do a quick etymology thing because we're big on etymology on this show. Sick as a dog etymology. Where did that come from? The idiom sick as a dog emerged in 1999, and it was coined by, oh, look at that. It was coined by Pimp C. Oh, holy shit. The phrase was first uttered on his on an early mixtape, which is untitled, and it is unnamed as it is a mixtape that was created in the late 90s exclusively on cassette tape. There are only 4 copies of it. Pimp C used sick as a dog in reference to getting the bread so much that he was sick. No, obviously that's not true. It came around in 1705 when people would bleep that. That's disgusting. It likely stems from dogs' negative linguistic associations with their historical role in disease transmission. That's a great way to start. Dogs are dirty. Dogs are fucking nasty. We as people keep our dogs clean. We hold them back from what they want to be, which is fucking filthy, nasty, in the mud, licking their ass, licking other dogs' asses. Basically how a lot of you on Hinge act. We hold them back from living the diseased life that they want. Yeah, sick as a dog. My beautiful son, he got sick. He got his first fever, and then naturally that transitioned to us. So I've been sick all weekend, but I'm fighting it back. I am, dare I say it, I am sucking on the sweet turds of the Mucinex guy. I'm sitting here sucking on Mucinex knobs, little tablets. These come straight from the Mucinex booger's ass. And I hate to be grotesque, but that's the way you get sick. That's the way you get better, is by getting more sick. Now, RFK, I want to know what you have to say about this. You know what trend I love right now?
Me and my family are going to pick a...
I'm Steve-O.
Me and my family are going to pick a, we're all going to take pictures of ourselves and see what sound we get.
I love how that trend, if we're just speaking on that, I love how that trend shows you all that racist shit you guys have been putting into Google Veo and stuff coming right back. You all have trained AI to know our features. It'll hit you with a racial stereotype. Now that's the thing. I haven't done it, but I should. I should see what sound it picks for me. That's the thing, is as we go forward in time, you're going to need the racially ambiguous to break apart this AI, because you guys are all being racist to each other very specifically, but you're going to need me to break it. It's going to have to take every slur and merge it into one, and to see if I react to any part of it. I'm going to be like Ryan Gosling in Blade Runner looking at the super slur. The fucking 64 character, the 128-bit slur that's designed for multiracial people. I'll be looking into a red fucking camera and just not flinching at it. Oh my God, dude. Just getting beamed with that every day. The encrypted super slur. That's how I'm going to get past all the robots and all the checkpoints at TSA and stuff. Yeah, that shit, I love how racist it is. A white person hits him with some country shit. And I like how people have their location on in TikTok, and they're going, "How did it know that I was Southern?" How did it know? Gee, I wonder. It's I would love to just, that, not that it's like of particular interest to me, but I would love to just sit inside the TikTok servers and see what kind of racial shit they're cooking up in there. How racist it's really getting in there. It's probably just a racist dream in there, looking at all the data-driven stereotypes, and they're looking at all of them going, yeah, tell me more. That's like I said. And by the way, I'm just putting on that voice, but a racist could be anybody, Could be me. Anyway, let's get into it. Obviously, a lot happened this week, guys. Everyone thought maybe Trumpito kicks the bucket. Yeah, people got sensitive about that. They're like, "Why would you wish death on my president? Why would you wish death on my president?" Dude, we were laughing at Biden falling over on bikes. When Biden fell down those stairs and those bikes, if Biden fell and hit the concrete and his head opened like a bowl of watermelon slices at a party, I would have laughed. I would have laughed. All right? Because Biden's skull structure is probably about as good as as a moldy pumpkin. Biden's skull is probably that of a pumpkin on November 2nd. I mean, you could probably just thumb through the back of it. You could probably just push right in there and teach him Spanish. he just push on the back of his head and turn him, and he'd be like, "Hola, mi amigos, buenos dias, yo soy Jose, yo tengo un pito grande, donde está mi bicicleta?" In a second. You probably turn Biden Chinese, you push deep enough in there. Yeah, we're going to laugh at a president dying. Who's not? We laugh at JFK all the time. That dude died a gruesome death. We laugh about it all the time. We laugh at presidents dying all the time. We laugh at planes going into towers. I mean, we don't take this shit seriously. We don't take this shit seriously at all. But obviously, Trumpito is alive and kicking. You know, he's around and walking. So no presidential death this week. You know, and I want to get into this later, but that whole saga stumbled me into this conspiracy. Basically 2 books from the 1800s, you know, theorizing about Trump's, you know, it's like a time travel conspiracy, which, you know, we'll get into. I think that's like more for the boring part of the show. Because, you know, every podcast, this is how it starts. The first 20 are banging, they're locked, and the last 20, that's when you start to, like, you know, do the dishes and you start to get on with your life, you know. But for the first 20, you might be sitting down, we might be talking to each other. I really, really want to talk about this Polish CEO stealing the hat from the little boy, trying to teach him an American lesson, which is, hey, buddy, in life, the previous generation is going to pull the ladder up before you can get to it. They're going to pull the ladder up behind them, and that is something you can realize in real time here. If you didn't somehow see this clip, this guy, this Polish CEO, yanks a hat from a child who would be, you know, a would-be child with a hat signed by a tennis star. And I guess this guy sponsors part of the tournament, and he yanked up the hat. So he was caught on camera with his lady consensually, but this time he's just stealing a hat from a kid. And his statement on the whole thing is great. Doesn't give a single fuck. You know, everyone was review bombing his company. Actually, I shouldn't say he doesn't give a single fuck. He does care. He tried to pretend like he didn't care, but he does care. His statement is hilarious. I need to pull it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to take a quick break to thank a sponsor for today's episode, DraftKings. DraftKings Casino has your playbook for gaming action all season long. Play thousands of popular slots for a shot at jackpots. Over $400 million has already been awarded. It's as easy as opening your phone, tapping the app, and playing all your favorite games. Boredom is a thing of the past because there's always something new to play. Get in on the action with DraftKings Jackpots for a shot to win big. Plus, enjoy games you can't find anywhere else like Rocket. Take America's #1 online casino for a spin. In addition to all your favorite casino games, DraftKings is constantly dealing out new and exciting ways to play. New players get 500 spins on Huff and More Puff over 10 days. Download the app, use code COMPANY, and claim your spins after your first $5 wager. Get in the game with DraftKings Casino, home of the largest jackpot win in online casino history. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. 21 plus, physically present in Connecticut, Michigan, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, West Virginia only. Void in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. New customers only. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for feature game only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends October 5th, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Hey guys, I want to take another quick break to thank a sponsor of today's episode, Shopify. If you've ever shopped online, chances are you've bought from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? that one that makes buying so incredibly easy, well, that is Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes it incredibly easy to start and run your business. Did you know that Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S.? From household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started, they use Shopify to help run their business. Shopify gives you that leg up from day one with hundreds of beautiful, ready-to-go templates to express your brand's unique style. Tackle all those important tasks in one place, from inventory to payments to analytics, and accomplish so much more with Shopify. Spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools to find and keep new customers. And did I mention that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/companylot. Go to shopify.com/companylot. Shopify.com/companylot. Sorry, guys, I had to take a cut there. I was trying to find the statement, but I just keep getting ads for height lengthening surgery. All these targeted ads are just telling me, here's how to get taller, and here's how to up your sperm count and bone density. Anyways, so the initial statement from this Polish CEO who snatches this hat, he tried to be a tough guy about it, right? I understand that some people might not like it, but please, let's not make a global scandal out of the hat. It's just a hat. If you were faster, you would have it. He then goes on to be like, it's a life lesson and blah, 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 which you gotta love, you gotta love the idea of this guy sitting there and just firing that off. Thinking that he's like, yeah, man, I don't give a shit about cancel culture, man. And all it took was 2 days, 48 hours, and it broke him into pieces. He was threatening to sue people. Isn't that like when Beyonce was like, hey, man, if I find anyone with this goofy picture of me, I'm suing you. It just took 48 hours. And now look at this statement. Due to the situation that occurred during this guy's match at the U.S. Open, I would like to unequivocally apologize to the injured boy, his family, all the fans, and the player himself. This guy had to hire a fucking PR team and a lawyer to tell him to say sorry. What a fucking idiot. I would argue that most CEOs, they're not smart people. They're just shameless. They don't care about other people. That's why they get that job. I made a grave mistake. In the midst of emotion, look at this guy. Now he's a poet all of a sudden. I love this when these guys get fucking help. And you know, in spirit of this show, I've been paying more attention to things that have been chat GPT'd, I think it's something we all look out for. Chat GPT, apologies, responses. There's that Fortnite player that got that clip of him going around using a slur. And I like how I don't even have to specify because it's a gamer and you know which one. And he used Chat GPT to write his response and people sniffed it out immediately. But I've been looking now closely at written statements for the hyphen, And folks, I want you to be hip to this. Maybe you're not looking at it enough, but the amount of people using Chat GPT to write shit is overwhelming. So keep an eye out for the hyphen. And maybe we do a segment on the next episode about that, all the Chat GPT isms, because that might be fun. Because I don't know all of them off the top of my head, but they're there. But I pay attention to the hyphen, brother. And I'm seeing a hyphen in this second paragraph. I made a grave mistake. In the midst of emotion, amidst the crowd's celebration after my victory. Ooh, this reeks AI. This reeks AI. I could be wrong about that, but I should say it a third time so you know how I feel about it, right? It's helpful if I say the same statement 4 times. Then you know my real feelings about it. In the midst of emotion, amidst the crowd Why would you use that twice? Yuck. Amidst the crowd celebration after my victory, I was convinced that the tennis player was passing the cap to me, for my sons. No, you weren't. No, you weren't, fuckface. Who had previously asked for autographs. This mistaken belief caused me to instinctively reach out. Today, I know that I did something that looked like I deliberately took a souvenir from a child. It wasn't my intention, but that doesn't change the fact that I hurt the boy and disappointed the fans. Now, granted, some of this might be, weird because of translation, but I just don't like how this is written like fan fiction. It was my mistake that when the tennis player's soft, strong arm reached out to me, I instinctively and immediately reached out to his soft, strong arm to collect the hat that had been dripping with his athletic sweat. As the sweat touched my skin, I felt the elation and subtle desire. I felt elation and subtle desire to just snatch it from a young boy next to me. Anyways, he goes on to say, the cap was given to the boy and an apology is due to the family. However, I will not issue it. Fuck that family. Holy. No, he goes on to say, I also want to make it clear, neither I, my wife, nor my sons commented on this situation on social media or any website. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I got. So that initial statement was apparently wrong because I don't read the article. Uh-oh. Noel Miller got caught in the I got. Put me in jail. For years, my wife and I have been involved in helping children and young. Yeah, he does sponsor like a young athletic program, but don't fucking give me that, dude. Oh, you made multi-millions. This guy trying to be a hero. We helped the youth. You made millions of dollars, and you went to start a youth program for what? Tennis? Oh, I thought you were going to say you're helping underprivileged kids in Poland. I thought you were going to say you built a tech school for kids in impoverished areas to help them get into the field of technology and hopefully bring other fellow citizens up the ladder. But no, you created a young athletic school for tennis, which happens to be an extremely profitable sport. But you're a hero, right? This is a painful but necessary lesson in humility for me. Therefore, I will be even more actively involved in initiatives supporting children and young people and in actions against violence and hate. I believe that only through actions can I rebuild lost trust. I apologize again to everyone I've disappointed. Please understand, out of concern for my family, I have decided to disable comments on this post. Yeah, dude, you stole a hat. And this is what you get. Now you have to do initiatives that no one will give a shit about. Hey man, I did an initiative after I stole that hat. We don't give a fuck, man. You stole the hat. Sucks to be you, dude. Should have just kept your hands to yourself, dummy. Dummy, stupid, dummy. How's that feel, huh? Me over here in America, kicking you while you're down, stomping out your ribs when you don't have any. Suck your own dick now, pal. How about that? So I got on that first statement, but honestly, wouldn't surprise me. Of that false statement is no different than what he actually did. So you know what? I don't feel too guilty about that one. Another fun thing in the realm of dumbass CEO behavior. So if you haven't followed, how would I say this? If you haven't followed HBO's saga of CEO, David Zaslav, this guy came in a few years ago. He called intellectual property, that being like original ideas. He, I believe, referred to that as youth soccer, where one person basically creates a special thing, like, I don't know, say Game of Thrones or
Narcos or something like that. And everyone else is chasing the ball. And, you know, I'm going to do another video on this, but I love when business guys take a normal thing and they have to put it in like dumbass buzzword salad. You know, it's like, oh, because like they don't relate to the human experience. So he's like, oh, that's sort of like, you know, it's like youth soccer. Everyone's chasing. No, dude, it's just called the creative process. Someone makes something cool and everyone goes, wow, that is inspiring. I would like to make something cool as well. It's not youth soccer, dude. It's called being creative. And so his whole thing was he wanted to slash out all the IP stuff, and, you know, HBO was going to focus a lot on reality and cheaper shit, because his whole career is decorated with creating cheap reality that had crazy return on like viewership and stuff. Anyways, The Wizard of Oz, which is being played in the Sphere in Las Vegas. If, you know, Hootie and the Blowfish and U2 and all these other things couldn't convince you to get out to the Las Vegas Sphere, maybe The Wizard of Oz would do it for you, right? And when you go to watch this spherized version of The Wizard of Oz and you're sitting there watching it, what are you thinking? You're thinking, gee, I hope HBO CEO David Zaslav is somehow cameoed in this, right? That's what you're thinking? Because I know when I sit down to watch movies, I'm like, ooh, will Mark Zuckerberg be in this one? I saw him on the Joe Rogan podcast, and I love his keen interest in hunting, and I think it'd be so cool if he was in this Predator movie as one of the people hunting. Because despite him starting a tech company, he's a normal guy. We have the same haircut. Sorry to Redditor out there for a second. The classic 1939 movie The Wizard of Oz is filled with famous characters like the Cowardly Lion, Wicked Witch of the West, and of course Dorothy Gale herself. But if you go see the new immersive version at the Las Vegas Sphere, there'll be two new faces in the crowd. Sphere Entertainment co-CEO James Dolan and Warner Brothers Discovery's David Zaslav. I'm sorry, I've been saying HBO. Warner Brothers Discovery. Might be. Let me get the correct timeline on Mr. Zaslav. Oh, Warner Brothers does own HBO. Sorry, I get confused sometimes, you know, because everything is owned by three things. So I lose track, you know. You know, because then you go up the tree, and I'm sure you go up far enough, and it's actually owned by BlackRock. By the way, folks, TNG Studios, not owned by BlackRock. Okay? Not owned by The Rock either. Okay? Just owned by me. Just me. Sphere Entertainment CEO James Dolan revealed this information to press during a walkthrough of the Wizard of Oz experience, which alters the original film to fit across the mammoth Sphere screen, while trimming the length of the film to allow for more daily viewings. It also replaces the faces of two characters in the movie with faces of Dolan and Zaslav. I won't tell you where. It's only for like 2 seconds. That doesn't make it better, dude. I know I'm kind of like nerding out on this, and I don't sound any bit cool or interesting when I say this, but I don't get why guys who make a fuck ton of money get so obsessed with being accepted. That's what you gave up. You did your homework, you went to school, you didn't party, you bragged about not partying, you made it a point of your pride to not be fucking off, and you stayed in the books, and now you're rich and powerful. You can't undo that shit. You weren't cool. You never pulled, and you're not pulling now. And you're probably pulling now. But I don't understand what the obsession with these guys is to retroactively try to make themselves cool. What is even the point of putting yourself in the Wizard of Oz film in the Sphere? You know, what? And also, because when you work in a corporate environment, there's those of you that get that it's a job and you're just clocking it in. But, you know, in a corporate ladder, there's always those folks that really want to be there, that really want to, you know, just chum it up. I'm trying to understand what fucking dork came forward and was like, you know, we have to do some VFX stuff already. How cool would it be if we put you guys in the movie? Why would you do that? You ain't getting a raise. He's not remembering you. You're just, you know, you're just sort of like, you're just two-handing and spitting on the man. Disgusting behavior, man. It's foul. I don't understand the obsession with these guys trying to retroactively make it happen for themselves. It's so weird. And, you know, maybe guys, this is the silver lining with AI. Because when you put a media project through a network, inevitably there are notes, right? There's notes from the studio, and if a project is big enough, the president of the company is going to be like, well, you know, I got to put my stench on this. Because that's how the corporate ladder works. When something's successful, all of a sudden, everybody there, like the little fucking rats that they are, they come running to the thing and they want to put their name on it. They want to be able to say, I did this. And so maybe, guys, the benefit of AI is it will destroy, you know, all these studios in the sense that once you get, picture David Zaslav with a 50% AI movie and then that same dork going like, David, would you like to prompt a scene? And he's like, well, I mean, could I maybe write myself in? Oh, saving the day? Maybe I could write myself in doing something cool. Maybe all these studio movies will just turn into CEO movies. And the new Avengers will be Zuckerberg, Bezos, Musk, whatever the fuck his name is at Google. Clearly that guy doesn't have enough clout. His name is not coming to me immediately. He's not in the media enough. He needs to do Rogan. Maybe that's the new Avengers. It's just the CEOs of all the fucking, what do they call them? The Magnificent Seven? Oh my God. That's how these guys see themselves. They're the real superheroes of the world. They're helping small brain, lowly fucking raw chicken minded people like us find our peace. Ladies and gentlemen, not only do I love performing in new cities, but I also love checking out other comics when I travel. So lately I've been looking to find the best deal on tickets whenever I travel, which is why I want to shout out SeatGeek. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. There are more than 70,000 events listed on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, stand-up, and more. Right now, you can get tickets to John Mulaney, Adam Sandler, and me. You get tickets to me. I'll be in San Diego and Austin, Texas very soon. Plus, SeatGeek is easy to use. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. So look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad, and every ticket is backed with their buyer guarantee. Use my code Noel10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off tickets with promo code Noel10. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app and have the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. Thank you, SeatGeek. Speaking of Google, let's get into the serious stuff. The Monopoly battle. So let me get you caught up. If you're maybe you're new to the show, you're a new listener. We've been loosely following this case with Google where they got hit with the big old M, the monopoly on Google search. And when this case first happened, you know, I was like getting into the meat and potatoes of my favorite book, the whole inspiration for this show, Surveillance Capitalism. And so really exciting to kind of read the material in the book that was written some years ago, and then to see this happening, and you just kind of see it all lining up. And so when the case first came out, you know, I said, I'll hold my breath to see what ends up happening with this. And we'll see if Google search ends up getting split up, right? And we'll see what that picture ends up looking like. By the way, context for the case, Google clearly was the only search engine for a while. And basically the federal government was like, hey, bruh, it can't just be you. But guess what? At the time that we are filming 22 hours ago, Google avoids breakup, but it must share its data with its rivals. No. And I make that sound because, you know, Google is a rich kid. Is it going to share? I don't think so, but let's get the details here. Google will not have to sell its Chrome web browser, but it must share information with competitors, a U.S. federal judge has ordered. The remedies decided by District Judge Amit Mehta have emerged after a years-long court battle over Google's dominance in online search. The case centered around Google's position as the default search engine on a range of its own products, such as Android and Chrome, as well as others made by the likes of Apple. The U.S. Department of Justice had demanded that Google sell Chrome. Tuesday's decision means the tech giant can keep it, but it will be barred from having exclusive contracts and must share search data with rivals. Google had proposed less drastic solutions, such as limiting its revenue-sharing agreements with firms like Apple to make its search engine the default on their devices and browsers. On Tuesday, the company indicated that it viewed the ruling as a victory and said, and taking the fucking words out of my mouth, and said the rise of artificial intelligence probably contributed to the outcome. Today's decision recognizes how much the industry has changed through the advent of AI, which is giving people so many more ways to find information, Google said in a statement after the ruling. This underlines what we've been saying since this case was filed in 2020. Competition is intense and people can easily choose the services they want, the statement continued. Blah, blah, blah. The rest of this is kind of fucking irrelevant because, granted, you know, this show, by the way, the show is a little over a year old. Beautiful. And we've grown together. Honestly, this whole episode is a celebration. Shout out to all of you. Big love to all of you that have just been watching, listening, watching me grow this thing. And above and beyond is where we're going to go with this. But we kind of hopped on this train at the end of it, right? You know, sometime earlier this year. And it seemed like a decision was about to come about. And I believe I said then, if not sometime after, this doesn't fucking matter. And that's kind of the Google playbook. They do something, there's no laws for it. They just kind of operate with impunity. And those are Shoshana's words, those are not my words. Operating with impunity. They get in trouble. They basically ask for forgiveness. They go through some legal battle. They get a little slap on the wrist. But by the time those steps occur, it doesn't fucking matter. Google search is fucking irrelevant. It doesn't matter anymore. Everyone you know is using AI for stuff. So many people are using AI. They're using them for their boyfriends, their girlfriends, their personal trainers, how to build apps, how to cook chicken, you know, how to stimulate themselves. I mean, everything. So it's hilarious that this case would even come about in 2020 because Google already knew. This is stupid. That's why they were probably well equipped to handle this case because they already knew. They're like, they probably knew Google search was becoming irrelevant a decade ago, and they're on to the next thing already. So it's brutal how, you know. And now I think this tees up nicely with we're not allowed to, if I'm understanding the laws correctly, you cannot. No state can go after a company with regards to AI. They can't limit them. They can't, basically, the realm of AI is very much being protected by the state, and for obvious reasons. Something that rhymes with schmalentier. And it's hilarious that this case would even come about in what is the waning hours of privacy. I mean, we don't have it. I wish I could remember the person who tweeted this, but I saw a great tweet last night. It was mimicking that sign you see in front of houses. It was like, say hi, my doorbell is filming you, my house is filming you, my phone is filming you, fucking, my house speaker is filming you, my cat is filming you. We're all just, observing each other to the point that, these companies are observing us to such a degree that what we search is so bottom of the ladder in terms of concern. What you type into a browser, who gives a fuck? God bless everyone on my last video of, I forgot what video it was actually, but I was talking about Googling something, and, shout out to all the tech boys. They were like, hey man, someone tell bro about DuckDuckGo. Hey man, I use DuckDuckGo, but I've been using Google since fucking, however long ago. I can't undo when I didn't know, you know what I'm saying? And neither can you. Also, I want to dig into this conspiracy for, I think, a future video, but I saw a guy say that every computer processor made after, I believe, 2007 can be backdoored by the CIA, and that's a bold claim. And I don't wish to get too conspiratorial on this show. I do like to kind of stick to things that, sometimes that's why I stick to surface on things, because when something's surface level, at least like there's enough facts that I'm confident speaking on, But there's I have my fun jokey conspiracies, right? But that idea also haunted the shit out of me. It's like, unless you're running a computer with Tails OS, on some kind of landline or like a public Wi-Fi with like a spoofed address, you're kind of toast, right? But yeah, just hilarious that this ruling comes out that, just keep it. Because it's true. The world has moved on at such a rate that it took 5 years for them to figure out, like, I guess Google search doesn't matter. Just keep it. But you got to share data. They're like, cool, we'll do that. We'll definitely do that. Meanwhile, the data on search is meaningless. People are encoding their whole lives into AI, telling every little facet, their feelings, using it as a therapist, business ideas, whatever. On that note, there's a really funny thing about, I was watching some guys on TikTok pontificate about, let me pull this up. I believe I'm getting this right. This might be the wrong word, but I think it's called the quantum mirror. Yes. Okay, the quantum mirror. It's this really like elaborate musing by a couple guys on TikTok where they're basically talking about how, there's this idea with AI where, and this is pretty freaky. Not in a Diddy way, just a freaky idea. You put yourself essentially into AI, meaning like, as you use AI, the AI can pick up on your patterns when you're at your best, when you're the most motivated, when you're, you have the most clarity, the most positive aspects of your mind habitually, when and how when you feel those things, how often, that type of stuff. And it can create a model based on that. Then that AI can mirror that back to you or be available to you when you're at your lowest. Right? So I guess in theory, if you're fucking depressed and you're like, I want to give up, this sort of AI mirror of yourself could be like, don't give up. Why don't you do this, this, and that? And it's sort of a weird copy of yourself that is your idealized self. I think this is one aspect of the quantum mirror. It all sounded like really high level, and I think the freakier part is copying habitual patterns of yourself into a quantum mirror. And then you go one level further where the AI is learning the best parts of other people, and then it can kind of create sort of like a maybe like a super powerful reflection of all humans that you can kind of interact with, blah blah blah. But then I was sitting there and I'm like, man, isn't this just like chilling the fuck out? Like, is this not the same as just like calling a friend? Like it maybe I'm wrong, but it felt, again, to kind of tie it all together, it felt as though it was this buzzword salad for just taking a second, calling someone up. It felt so roundabout to just having a conversation. I'm forgetting why I'm bringing this up, honestly, but that's a fun rabbit hole you can jump down. Quantum mirror. Oh yeah, I guess it's because I was talking about the irrelevance of this court case and stuff. Speaking of data collection, because there's one of these every day, and we're nearing the end here, and it's time to get to the real fun stuff. Worth mentioning because again, we hear this stuff all the time. FTC charges Disney to pay $10 million for collecting children's data on YouTube. A whopping $10 million. Isn't that just like one person's salary in like a TV series? Isn't that just Pedro Pascal's entire salary? Isn't that just the fee to get Pedro Pascal on your set to hug your wife? that guy be feeling up people's wives, dude. I've not commented on that, but Jesus Christ, man. He's damn near taking the pregnancy photos with other people's wives before they have the baby. He's just pulling up behind them and wrapping the fingies, trying to get a vibe for the baby. I wish I talked about that a little bit more. Maybe I do that. I watched Eddington finally. I know people had their critiques about that film. Maybe that's for the next episode. Anyways, also worth mentioning, Shien using Luigi Mangioni's face on a model. Would be great if they use his face on a guy modeling like hunting gear. Fucking hunting camo. Urban camo. Blend in with your surroundings. So this is pretty old at this point, but it kind of bubbled up on my amongst my buddies because of the whole, Trump might be dead thing. And so I'll kind of read you this. It's a bit winded, but just follow along, all right? Ingersoll Lockwood, what an old name. A lawyer and writer, penned Barron Trump's marvelous underground journey in 1893. The book chronicles the adventures of an aristocratic boy, Barron Trump, and his loyal dog, Bulger. Armed with a guidebook, Barron ventures through subterranean worlds filled with bizarre creatures, odd landscapes, and perilous situations. The book, while largely forgotten for over a century, resurfaced on the internet in 2017, and with it came the realization of its bizarre ties to the Trump family. Readers couldn't ignore the coincidences between this fictional boy and the real-life Barron Trump, the youngest son of former, I guess not former at this point, but the youngest son of, obviously, Donald Trump. Some of the eerie coincidences include the most obvious connection is the protagonist's name, Barron Trump, although the book spells it without the extra R. The similarity is hard to ignore. Barron Trump is one of the few children of presidents to live in the White House, and his name being featured in a 19th century novel feels oddly specific. In the book, Barron, a single R Barron, is guided by a mentor referred to as Dawn. The character, described as a wise and enigmatic figure, bears a striking resemblance to the persona of Donald Trump. while it could be dismissed as coincidence, conspiracy theorists can't help but connect the dots. The fictional Baron embarks on an underground journey to discover hidden civilizations and secret truths. Some theorists have tied this to real-life discussions of subterranean government bunkers, ancient lost worlds, and even Trump's reported interest in draining the swamp, metaphorically, in politics. Barron Trump, in the book, is an aristocrat born into privilege, accustomed to luxury, but driven by a desire for discovery. Blah blah blah. Adding fuel to the fire is the theory that is a theory involving Nikola Tesla and time travel. The story goes that Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, was tasked with reviewing Tesla's papers after the inventor's death. Conspiracy theorists speculate that he uncovered time travel secrets which the Trump family may have used to shape their destiny. Imagine being so notorious that people are like, this had to have been a time traveler. This type of fucking hatred could only have been devised in 1890 and made its way here. It was written. Donald Trump was written. Isn't that crazy if they just, they happened on Barron? Well, they just named him David, and then this shit just doesn't exist. Then it'd be just like a offhanded, like, oh, there's like a book about a Trump kid from the late 1900s. Oh, wow, really? Yeah, kind of weird. We know too much, guys. We know too much. It's making us all schizophrenic. I just got a TikTok earlier of a mom being like, TikTok does not want me to post about this, but there's a filter on here that shows you corn. Which to my wife is exciting because she's like, maize, yes. But then my wife would be the one to tap on it and be like, oh, she meant porn. Whoops. I like how TikTok is a character in all of our minds now, It's this ethereal being. TikTok knows. Anyways, guys, it's written in this Barron book that he's going to fuck it all up on a goth baddie. He's going to lose his entire fortune and social status to a goth baddie. It's written. He's going to go to an underground German nightclub in his pursuit of German knowledge for, unbeknownst motivations. In the book, we're not talking really in the book, he happenstances into a German club. There's a goth baddie in there. She's half Latin, but her face makeup doesn't give Barron the ability in the book to make any determinations about her presentation. So he ends up falling in love and just fucking it all up. So in about 2 years, actually, Barron Trump is going to go AWOL. He's going to end up like the one Kennedy who's just on TikTok and just vibing. That's actually going to be Barron. It's also written in the book that Barron links up with Hunter Biden later. Barron is going to get a dangly earring. And he's going to go, he's just going to break bad. He's going to just fuck the entire family dynasty up. It's written. So, enjoy your weekend with that concept. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Company Lot. If you don't know, now you know. Every other week we're here. I love you guys. Appreciate you always. Yeah. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.